Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Future Card Buddyfight Ace Volume 4 manga review. For those of you that don't know, this is the final volume in the Future Card Buddyfight Ace manga series. Having gone over the first three in a previous video, I wanted to review the final volume to the series, which concludes the Buddyfight Ace series, and also continuing on from when the anime finished. The manga basically simplified the anime series in the first two volumes, and then extended the, what I'm guessing would have been, second season of Buddyfight Ace in the third and fourth volumes. So I figured I'd go on and continue my review of the Buddyfight Ace manga with Volume 4, focusing on Kei Jinguji, the main antagonist of the series, with his Overgod Zero and God Clock flag. So with Volume 3, we were given the introduction of Alec being a sort of rival to Yuga, and then also using Yuga'S New Units in the form of G-Boost in a rivalry fashion against Alec. Continuing on, and there's also a great reunion with Gao Mikado, Yuga's father, in the first part of the volume. Being sad that Rama moved away to Singapore, Gao came to cheer Yuga up. But continuing on, in Volume 4, we have the basic continuation, which a school was constructed for the very best buddy fighters, and Kei Jinguji being the main, I would say maybe the principal or the organizer of the school, wanted to see just how many strong buddy fighters he could gather together. And before we begin more on the story, I just wanted to show the promo, which there was a promo given in each of the different volumes, with the one for this one being Ultimate Garga SD. It's a Dragod, so it can be used with all flags. Put this card from your hand to the soul of a card with G-Boost on your field. When a card with this card in its soul uses G-Boost, destroy up to one card in your opponent's field. If it was destroyed, you draw a card. And this card with G-Boost and this card in the soul cannot be dropped by a card effect. So very, very awesome. And just a good setup if you can get this, which, you know, these promos are definitely very difficult to get since they have to be in the manga to purchase. But like I said, great setup, especially for those looking to build Ultimate Garga decks. But moving on now to the manga, continuing on from the other volumes, we have, which, you know, the fights are very simplified in these volumes, but with the rivalry continuing with Alec, which I love the little homage they have for all the characters that were introduced in the original Ace series, and also continuing on with the Olympic competition they were having in this chapter. They concluded with a buddy fight focusing on Alec and Yuga'S New Units, including Gargantua, Sacred Wyvern, and Voltic Raw for Alec. Very, very awesome to have seen these units in the manga. I would have loved to have seen them in the actual anime if the anime actually continued on. But also, we are given a little more background on Kei Jinguji, and I honestly think it's hilarious that with these panels, we see that Dadan and his group are basically wiped from existence with the use of God Clock and Overgod Zero. And when I explain what happens, it's going to really, you know, suck, because Dadan just always seems like he has the worst happen to him. I mean, he was eaten by Vanity Destroyer in the first season, and then he was just wiped from existence from this series. So the worst that can happen always seems to happen to Dadan. But with the conclusion, we were giving a little more background on Kei Jinguji being a excellent buddy fighter, being able to use any buddy fight deck to win, which you can see here. He used Danger Veggies, which is great. I would have loved to have seen, even if just a small moment in the anime, used as a fight as well. They're one of my favorite Danger World decks. But then we see, to the horror of how Kei Jinguji's God Clock would work, wiping out everyone from existence. You can see Subaru and Masato basically being erased from existence, with time reversing on them, aging them all the way back to toddler, then infant stage, and then completely out of existence, to the horror, which was definitely showed very well in the panels here with Mikado Yuga, just basically wiped from existence. And that happens to everyone in the entire universe, with the exception of Yuga and Alec, who try to put a stop to it, discovering that Kei Jinguji is the one responsible for this happening. Alec engages Kei in a buddy fight, but is unable to do anything against his God Clock, so he passes on the power to Yuga beforehand, and with Gargantua Dragon and his G-Boost forms, fights against Kei Jinguji as best as he can. But the power of the God Clock is just too much for him, and it even starts when the beginning of the Buddyfight begins to de-age Garga, which is also, you can see some of the shocking panels. These would have been awesome to have seen in the anime as well. Just the, raw, sheer hatred that Kei Jinguji displays on his face. For the main reason why he's even doing all of this is for the fact that he lost a Buddyfight. That's the only reason he's doing any of this. Just he wants to wipe away the stain of losing by basically reversing time and restarting the universe. And you can see here with Perfected Deity of Aeon, the End Ruler Dragon, the 4-card flag that he shows here, being able to just stop time with its play, and it also, like I said, reversing Garga's age. But this, and the power that Yuga bestows upon him, is what brings about Ultimate Garga. And I always wondered when I first saw these cards released why Ultimate Garga looked like a kid version of Gargantua Dragon, and the reason is because he has the God Clock power inflicted upon him, aging him back to what I would guess would be, child Gargantua Dragon in such a form. Very, very cool, though, that this manga at least answered a lot of the questions as to what and why some of the units look the way they do. And Ultimate Garga was basically able to stop the play that Over God Zero would eventually become with the final form of the flag, just, 12 critical, reverting everything to 0. But the impact was enough to stop it, which breaks out of this time blast and reduces the opponent to 0. So it was basically an evolved form of Gargantua Punisher. Very, very awesome that they continued that off as well in this volume. But also the, epic conclusion. This would have been an awesome fight. They even did a voiceover. If those of you who haven't seen it, definitely do check out the voiced over segment that shows a little played out scene from the Future Card Buddyfight Ace series. But what got me the most from the actual fight is he couldn't handle the loss. He handled it like a child, saying that his opponent cheated, which, definitely hits home with just a bunch of card players. I'm sure we've all been in the situation where we couldn't accept a loss as best as we could. And as such, just being very immature about it, making so his opponent cheated during the fight. Everyone, went against him, which is sad because, he basically made his opponent cry, and he wished he could have just gone back in time and changed that, change that he accused his opponent of cheating and wanting to fix anything. And Yuga gives the simple answer, which, just apologizing could simply be enough to reconcile with that person, which is great because, every Buddyfight character has that line of redemption. There's not really any characters that are never, not redeemed in the series, which makes it an awesome series altogether. And then the final parts of the manga is just a little bonus story from Buddyfight All-Stars showing the epic conclusion between Tezuku and Gao and their final fight, which I think they gave us a little extra of these at the end of every Future Card Buddyfight Ace volume. But other than that, I really have enjoyed this series. I'm glad I own all 4 volumes. If you ever have a chance to get your hands on all 4, I definitely want to get the original series as well. And there's also a spin-off series that I would definitely love to read in the future. But these are all 4 of the volumes for the Future Card Buddyfight Ace manga. Very, very happy that I, own some physical pieces of merchandise for a Future Card Buddyfight that's not just, trading cards, obviously. But I hope you all enjoyed this review. Just like the previous review, I'll have the video at the end here for you to check out if you haven't seen it yet. I definitely do recommend it. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.